out of ceasefire in Chicago, and it enhanced it with a therapeutic session, which is the piece that I'm a part of. It's therapeutic for the community and for families and friends of homicide victims. So with that, they would like us also to be first responders, whether at the scene, at the hospital, at the house, just because we have that touch, because we've been there and we know the need that the family may have at that time.
Okay, my name is Kenya Bryan. The name of my organization, the organization I work for is I Love My Life, where Ms. Erica Ford is the CEO and founder. I am the Family Support Coordinator. I work directly with the families of victims lost to gun violence. And our mission I call it Life Camp, that is the surname. So our mission with Life Camp, we are a violence intervention and prevention organization. So on a daily basis, we work in the schools with at-risk young people and young adults. And then we also do prevention and intervention on the streets as well.
What streets?
In Queens, I'm sorry. In the streets of South Jamaica, Queens, to be more exact.
We'll assist with connecting them to legal aid services. One of the pieces of the training, as I had mentioned, from the Office of Victim Services was to learn how to do the application. Because sometimes they can get lost in some of the bigger organizations that also help with this. So they've been trained on how to actually do the benefits application and to follow up if a case is denied.
I'm Tina Stanford. I'm the director of the New York State Office of Victim Services. It's a state agency that's been in existence since 1966 to provide compensation to victims of crime and their loved ones who survived the crime. So when someone has survived a homicide, they need help with the expenses that are attendant to the homicide. Our agency can help with those expenses. So part of the training that I'm providing is how to apply for that assistance. Again, a lot of the participants in this training have been through the process, so they know, but they don't know it from the professional aspect, from the aspect of someone who is a victim advocate now helping other victims. They know it as the applicant, the claimant in a past claim. And, that's just one individual claim. So I'm here to give them an idea of the breadth of the kinds of assistance that we help and how they, in turn, can walk someone else through the process. Some of you have been through the process firsthand. The rest of you may have heard about the process. I'm going to walk you through the process because now you're in the position not just as claimant, but as an advocate, as a victim assistance provider. This training has truly equipped you to now be able to stand and say, I'm able to help somebody else to go through this process.
Two other major components was involving our police and getting not only just our first responders to see the police as friends or an important part of this equation, but how do we begin to use them and we all join our forces?
Again, I'm Officer Bass Knight. I work at the 32nd Precinct. I'm under the leadership of Inspector Harrison. I don't know if everyone has met Inspector Harrison, but he's the type of person that is, he's dedicated to the community. I'm not community affairs, but I do work in a specialized unit established by Inspector Harrison. It's called a SET team, which is a strategic enforcement team. We deal with basically with the various gangs and crews in our confines. Our confines cover from 127th Street, from 5th Avenue, all the way up to St. Nick, all the way to 155 into the Polo Grounds. That's our confines. And we deal with the various crews or sets that run in our confines. At the moment, we have identified about 10. And there's still a couple of other crews that we're trying to identify, and more are coming up. That's something that we're trying to stop. Okay. As for what I have to tell you today is continue the relationship with the commanding officer. He's the executive of the precinct. He's the one that basically runs the show. He can have things put into place to make certain things in the community run a little smooth. At the moment, we do have community affairs officers in a situation where if there's a shooting or a tragedy that happens in the community, find out first the officers, the first responding officers. Once you find those two first responding officers, those are the two that will basically be doing the initial paperwork, okay?
As first responders, if on the scene, if your family or friends do get arrested or there's a situation going on and you can't take care of it on the scene, because there is a lot going on. We have our supervisors, we have other police officers. We're trying to gather all the information, investigation that we can. Once we get back to the precinct, please feel free to come to the precinct. And that's when we will take you to the side. We will talk to you one-on-one and we'll explain exactly everything that happened. Because right there's a lot of confusion going on. One person can say one thing, and now there's an innocent bystander, and we don't know, but this one person stated that he was involved. That's what we do. We go on back to the precinct, and we investigate the matter.
The Assistant Commissioner, Kevin O'Connell, who came in and talked to and enlightened the group around the different kinds of gang violence interventions that the police department is doing and how we can begin to support as first responders just the efforts of the police and to become in partnership with the police by getting folks to realize that they can't do the job themselves. It's not so much as informing on somebody in the community, but just understanding that if we're going to get cases solved, then people have got to be the voice in the community that has the conversation.
And we are here today to celebrate this wonderful, wonderful opening. Let's give Councilwoman Dickens a scream. Reverend Sullivan is also the chairperson of Harlem Mothers S.A.V.E.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. This is an amazing thing that's happening today, and we're all excited, the beautiful job that's been done here. But please, let's never lose focus that what we're here to do is to shut this office down. We want to go out of business. We don't want to grow, we want to diminish. And that's what we're here for, and as many parents and young people as we can help out of this space is what we're here to do. So for all the people, Councilwoman Dickens, everyone who's made this space possible, to the parents who have taken their tears and turned it into triumph by coming here and making sure that other mothers and fathers don't ever have to use our services. We thank you for your courage, we thank you for your strength and allowing us to be here, for using your children for something good and not letting their lives being lost be a lost opportunity to make sure that these other young people out here can keep their lives and these parents can keep their children.
Jackie, good morning, everyone. Good morning. And I want to concur with Reverend Sullivan that we have to shut this place down. Yeah. When the Harlem Mothers came into my office, how many years ago, Jackie?
2006.
2006, and we were all had shed tears on that ground in my office, and I'm so glad that I was able to play some small part in establishing this organization. And I want to thank Councilmember Inez Dickens for, it's almost like a relay race. You hand the baton off, and you get it started, and we gave it to our anchor person, Inez Dickens, who's finishing the race and helping to house this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful organization.
Yes, appreciate him. See, oftentimes people think that the DA is supposed to lock everybody up, but that's not true. This DA works with the community, and he helps the mothers and fathers who've had loss, and he tried to do prevention measures and education through his office. I just love him, our DA S.A.V.E.
Jackie, thank you so much. And thank you to Harlem Mothers S.A.V.E. and the parents who are the core of the institution, to Inez and all our elected officials for their commitment, to the NYPD, the inspector, and the chief. Thank you for all you do. I'm honored to be able to address you briefly. And as the district attorney, I just want to tell you that I think your efforts are bearing fruit. And it's not a perfect story, but I will tell you this, Jackie. When I was first elected in 2010, there were 70 murders in Manhattan. And the inspector knows that's far better than we were 2 decades ago. This year to date, though, in Manhattan, while it's far too many, there have been 22 murders. So between 2010 and 2013, we are seriously moving in the right direction. And the reason why we're moving in the right direction is not just the great work of the NYPD. It is not just the work of our office in prevention measures, it's the community. And so when people ask, how has New York City transformed itself in lowering violent crime? It's because the community, heroes like Jackie Rowe Adams, her mothers and fathers at Harlem Mothers S.A.V E, this organization have come together and said, we are going to go into the community. Yes. We are going to be the advocates because the kids in our community know us, they believe us, the parents know us and believe us, and I think that's making the difference. So, don't stop what you're doing. We love you for everything that you've done. You are a special woman for this city and Harlem and in my heart. Thank you very much.
And let me just thank our New York City Police Department. That's my gang. That's my gang. They are some serious community leaders. And I'm saying they're the community leaders. And if you work with them, they work with you. If you act up, you in trouble. Reverend Vernon Williams, please.
Giving honor to God, who's the head of my life. I was supposed to give accolades to you and then accolades to Jackie, but I need to pause and give accolades to the NYPD. Yes. Two gentlemen by the name of Quan were arrested today in Pennsylvania and are waiting to be extradited to New York for the murder of Antis Hennis in Brooklyn. And that's a beautiful thing. The baby was only 19 months old. Was not the intended target. His father was linked up with the gang and in combat with another gang. Based on the community's relationship with NYPD and their hard work, Quan and Quan are in custody today. I remember standing on the corner of 129th Street and Lenox Avenue and getting a hit that a fight was getting ready to start, and I spun around and ran towards 130th Street. And when I looked behind me, Jackie was running behind me. And we were in between two gangs, pulling them apart and saying no, and taking, and she says I got hit with a bat, I don't remember. But she was on the floor the next minute, and then everybody just stopped and said, wait, somebody knocked down the mother. I said, oh no, y'all done lost your mind.
That's coming up next. Honey, she ain't no joke. I took after her. She don't care because she gonna be all up in the mix and the Kool-Aid. She's a warrior. She's been a warrior for many, 3 decades. I was just gonna be nice, say many years. But let me tell you something. What you see is what you get. And she keeps it real. And I am proud that she's here today. I am proud that she stands with us. I am proud to even know her and serve under her in this community and beside her. It's none other than the baddest lady around, one of the baddest ladies around, our Mama Hazel Dukes. I want to tell you a story that really got to me. Dr. Palmer was the executive director at Harlem Hospital. And we was in Lloyd Williams' office one day talking about all this stuff we do, Jackie, parades and the bloop in the block and stuff, you know, and sometimes I get sick of hearing that, Councilwoman, because it's not what Reverend Williams just said. It's not about service. It's about show, costumes, who gonna be in front of the line, where I'm gonna stand, where I'm gonna sit. I get sick of that. Jackie Rowe has never thought about where she gonna sit or stand. But at this meeting in Lloyd Williams' office, planning for Harlem Week, talking about the African American parade and all this, Dr. Palmer in his quiet way said, quiet way, that's it. Not raising his voice, don't say much in meetings. He said, we have a serious problem here in Harlem. He said every night, 2 and 3 times a night when you hear the police, the sirens and the police coming to Harlem. It's not anybody with a heart attack or stroke. He says not older people. It's our young, 14, 15, 16. It pierced my heart. Yes. It pierced my heart to say, why did Dr. King die? Why did these people give their life for this generation of children, not knowing how to fight with their fists or how to do a dispute, and guns running around here all over the place? So Dr. Palmer that day sparked something into the chamber. And so Lord said, we don't have to invent anything because Jackie Rowe Adams and the mother S.A.V.E and the fathers are here. And let's see how can we come together. We haven't stopped 1 minute from that day because when they brought Jackie in, Lloyd Williams brought Jackie in, Dr. Palmer put a program together, and every time that we've had the seminars, we've had health there. Dr. Palmer brought people from across the country, had seminars at Harlem Hospital for our community. So Jackie Rowe Adams has been a leader to spark this community, our beloved Harlem community, to come back and have it safe for all of us and save our children. Yes. So she's no neophyte. She's no Johnny come lately. She's no one standing on the corner with a lot of rest. About where you come from and about where you going. This is a woman of service. That's right. And to be great in God's kingdom is to be a servant. Yes. And so Inez Dickens, this morning when we come to see this place, and Henrietta Lyers, who's the chairman of our community board 10, she knows that nobody comes before our board. That affordable housing for our community, we was appointed by Councilwoman Inez Dickens. No one come before Community Board 10 unless in the word is affordable housing. All right, people can afford to live and giving something back to our community. So this is what health stand here.
Mama Dukes has some introduction. But I'm going to ask these three young ladies to come in. Yes. It's about helping our future to understand and know that there is another way than the gang way. Yes. Yes. To let them know that we do love them. Yes. We embrace them. We educate them. We keep them in prayer. And we will support them when they're right, and we will punish them when they're wrong. That's right. It's about saving our future. It's about letting them not fear the police, but instead embrace them as a friend. It doesn't mean that within the family you always get along. You don't always get along with family. No. But you are supposed to sit down at the table with family and say, I agree, I disagree. Right. When you agree, you work together hard. When you disagree, you don't take it to the streets. You sit down at the family table. Yes. We've been blessed to have our local police to be our family, because that's what it's about. And I thank the Richmond group. You know, Cash, I thank the Richmond group because without their agreeing to having to give this space up, because this is retail space that they could be getting rent money for. Yes. But I was able to negotiate with them. Now, if you're building as of right, you don't have to come to me. But if you're not building as of right, we will sit down at the table. And to the Richmond Group's credit, they were willing and open to giving us this space. Yes. And I asked them to really give us 4 walls. God bless you for the support that you've given Jackie and Harlem of S.A.V.E.
We thank you that as we walk away from here today, we are empowered. Yes. We have strength and we have courage. no head will be held down in any of the 5 boroughs coming against gun violence. As the pastor said earlier, we come to serve. Life up,
Guns down.
guns down. And we thank you for that, oh Lord. And we send this prayer up through all of these saints and warriors. In your name, amen.
Let's put
They've been our real partners in this. And I thank God for a young man like Dr. Palmer, a professional that sits with us every month and help us get through this counseling and bereavement. Thank you, Dr. Palmer. Thank you for volunteering your service. And you've been with us almost 2 years and you don't even realize it. So I thank God for the people that have helped us. I thank God for all mothers and fathers that's a part of Harlem Mothers and any organization to help